Okada Mega 5. James, do you want to see this match
Of course.
in 2025?
It's gonna be awesome. Now have there's gonna be one situation where like the match in the ring is gonna save whatever they've done with Okada the last year, or ever since he got into AEW.
You know,
Match is gonna have to save all that.
I think when these guys get in the ring with each other, there will be a level of magic that has always been there, right? They've started.
They built properly to get there? Absolutely not. Absolutely the fuck not. No.
I don't even know we can call if they've properly even started it. So like, just lay it on paper what they've done.
True.
They've kind of told us like 6 months in advance, 7 months in advance. They had Kenny come back. Everything. This also goes back to the Kenny Omega usage and how fucking weird it's been. He comes back in a suit like he's a non-wrestler, hands Okada this belt. They show the fucking picture between them, and you're like, oh, okay, awesome, or whatever.
I thought you were gonna go back to when they laid him out with the
go ahead. Yeah, everything was supposed to happen there too. Yeah, forgot about all that. And which actually I think was a good angle. And like they did a preview tag match with them a few weeks ago. Crowd was on fire for their interactions. Between that, Kenny goes to the Dome. Okada's pretty much, he's had a handful of great matches, but I think if you've been watching Okada only in AEW, you're like, what's the big deal? Like,
he's just a good wrestler. Yeah.
And now it's
like if you are watching AEW, I know if you never watched him before AEW, you're probably been like, what the catch is way better than him.
And it's not close. Like, and now with how I feel uneven Kenny Omega's appearances and also the vibe of around like his character have been ever since the Tokyo Dome, he feels checked out, I feel like. And now we have this huge story between Okada, or what should be this huge story between Okada and Omega, right? And what are the ideas that they're going to come up with to pay tribute to the history that they have, do something cool now and write an original chapter, and also use it as a ticket moving match, as a worthwhile to the series match, as something that is just like that they have a chance to like really tap into and really bite down on. I don't have the confidence that they're able to do that right now. Like, it's like, are they going to get the interview time? Are they going to get like other people to help build it up? Are they going to use the Young Bucks somehow to build this up? Like, it feels like they should be trying to retell the entire story between them. Like, and I know this is an in-ring wrestling promotion, but they have to do more.
Don't disagree at all. And like, this was the problem. This problem all goes back to they wanted to play that footage of CM Punk and Jungle Boy from All In 2023. Then they wanted to base the whole faction around it. Then the Young Bucks were like, well, I'm not going to speculate, but the Young Bucks all of a sudden they lost the titles and they went the fuck away once. And Jungle Boy ain't been seen since. And Okada's been out there being bitch comedy guy, having great matches. Occasional, basically like he shows up, he has a very good to a great match, and then like once every 4 months or 3 months he has a classic, kind of where he's been in AEW. But he doesn't have much of a character, or let me phrase that. His character is very two-dimensional. He has no rivals so far.
It's like Kenny and Okada are just waiting to face each other and doing nothing really interesting in the meantime.
It's been even worse for Okada because Okada, this is his native language, and he has been on TV every 2 to 3 weeks, and he calls the next person a bitch, and then he wrestles a match with them. The Young Bucks were on TV while Kenny Omega was on TV, and it has greatly hurt to someone that doesn't watch New Japan or didn't watch New Japan and saw him he, was one of the greatest wrestlers ever. It really, you think he's just a guy. You think he's just a really good guy amongst a group of other really good guys.
It's like, all right, it's like if we just like pulled Joe AEW fan out here, we pull him in and we're like, do you think Kazuchika Okada is one of the 10 best wrestlers in AEW? I feel like with confidence they can't be like, they could easily say no. Easily.
They'd be like yes, but it'd be like 8.
Like
opposed to if you go back 2 years ago, hey, is Okada like one of the 10 greatest wrestlers ever? it's
just like,
look, man.
I don't know what they're doing. Like, I don't know what they're doing. I know they've got a lot to build up. They've got Anarchy in the arena to build up. They've got stuff to get through, right? But these random interactions of them just walking out after each other's matches, sorry, this is not New Japan Pro Wrestling. Like, and maybe that's the subtext of this entire feud. It's not New Japan Pro Wrestling. So it's like, that's why I'm almost protective of the rivalry. I'm like, I don't want to see them do it and fuck it up.
I would say if that is their point, that's the subtext of this. I need them to go back and give me back the time they wasted with Nigel McGuinness and Danielson. Because they set that up for months and months, or hell, years. Nigel's on commentary. They set that up the whole time to get to that point, and then they did it, and they put it on the fucking Arthur Ashe show. And while I did enjoy the match, it was most people would be like, this was not the same level as those matches from ROH back in the day, right?
I mean, like, how could it be? Nigel McGuinness wasn't a regular wrestler in like 15 years, so it's like,
right. I'm not saying that they're not Nigel at all, because Nigel, Nigel's still a really good wrestler. But my issue is, if you're going to have reverence for these things, if you're going to destabilize, if you're going to help destabilize your fucking partner by taking their biggest star at the time, Ace, like, don't just make him a fucking toy. Like, he's not an anchor. Like, he is not a cornerstone of AEW. Okada's not. Will Ospreay is.
He's a luxury.
Will Ospreay is. Like, Swerve is. And Page is. JF is. Like, Jay White, Okada. No, they're not. They're just guys that they were in New Japan. No one knows him here that because they had these matches. These guys are in AEW. Let's bring them in. What are you gonna do with them? We'll figure it out later. And obviously, it's been less stop and start stuff and shifts and moves with Okada than it has been with Jay White. But like, it's the same problem. Brought these guys in without actual real plans to make to slot them amongst the other guys that are in their
it's like
their peers.
They're being orbited just around Kenny Omega, but Kenny Omega has been either injured or inconsistent, or just like, whatever his dates are available with the contract and stuff, because that is a huge thing. So at this point, I'm wondering, is Kenny Omega still a cornerstone of this promotion, or is he falling into the luxury thing? So it's like, when you build
fallen into the luxury things, I think he's fallen into the luxury thing post diverticulitis. Before then, he was a cornerstone guy, not no more.
Yep. And it's just like, I just don't think they have the tools in place or the ideas to make it really like what it could be, because are these guys
not. Okay, Rich,
because like you could sit Kenny Omega in a room, just how New Japan used to do, and just be like, so what do you so tell us about Kazuchika Okada and what he's meant to your career, and then just, he can do it. Like, I have no doubt. But I don't think they think is simple to that. They think there has to be some over the top angle or some like.
What's going to happen is, do it. They see it pre-taped, and they're like, "Oh, it's 5 minutes. It's not MJF,
right?"
Or is not a motherfucker dressed like it's 1975 Jamie Hayter was the other day. She looked good in it, but it's like that's a lot of earth tones. A lot of earth tones. Scott too. Star. I don't mean that. I don't mean that. Dismissal either. Like she's look. You know what's the star thing for Vince? Like you walk by an airport, people turn heads. Woman built like that, walking the airport is gonna turn some heads. But yeah, just go back further, right? Forget the Okada thing in terms of Omega, right? Okada beat Ospreay in the finals of the C2.
Right.
Continuing the story of Ospreay has never beaten Okada clean in a big high level spot in a singles match. It's a part of the Ospreay story. Ospreay gets the match with Okada. Anyone like looking around and be like, hey, we done enough with Okada to where like when he gets that match, is even worth it for us? Do it.
I don't even know.
Like anyone give a fuck when it happens?
I don't even think people realize that's like a story beat of Will's.
And he's gonna have to beat Swerve. Like that's if eventually if this long plays is his long title chase for Ospreay to get the AEW World Title. These failures along the way are gonna have to be rectified. It can't just be he lost these people and then get these wins back. That's how pro wrestling works. You lose or you crack your head on the wall, you fail, you finally make it, and you face your demons that you failed against, and you beat those people, and then you go on. In non-carny American pro wrestling. Sorry, but like it's a simple story of you have failed, you've redeemed yourself, you have overcame your failures, and now you got to face these failures again, and you topple your failures. You're awesome, and then you eventually lose somebody. For the story is you got your ass kicked by a monster, or you got too arrogant, or whatever else, and it's your downfall again. You start the cycle over again, or you're not the main character anymore. You find a new main character. That's how this works. So you know you're gonna get a Swerve match eventually. Ospreay gets some win back. You know that. It's going to happen. Barring some type of injury where neither one of them can wrestle again in the long term future, it's gonna happen sometime in the next 2 years. The Okada part, no one gonna care because you haven't handled this with care at all with Okada. He's just been in his own universe with the Continental title, and then you put Omega in his own universe by beating Takeshita for the international title. Now they have the Okada verse and the Omega verse. They have the two KO verses, and these two KO verses, like a comic book, are going to have these universes converge in Texas. And it's like, all right, well, what? Okay, one is going to win, one's going to lose. What happens after that?
It's almost like it's an exhibition match.
That's what I'm getting at, because neither of these people have roots in the company right now. Omega does long-term roots, but like as far as like, yeah, he's been back. Like, where's him and Ospreay's tag team?
Gone in smoke.
Right.
Like his roots are with the Young Bucks.
And to be fair, the Young Bucks is actually real, because that's actually a thing that's in the pot boiling, simmering. But outside of that.
Like the most exciting
nowhere around
thing,
any of the Hangman stuff, nowhere around the Ospreay stuff, done with Don Callis family.
Like the most exciting thing, Kenny's
no smoke with Moxie hiding the fucking title that.
Yeah, like it just makes it look stupid. Like it just does. Like the most exciting thing was when he's been, him and Swerve have been saving each other and showing each other respect or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, that seems like it's new, it's fresh, it's exciting. I would like. It seems like I could name...
but that's a part of the Young Bucks part. Bro, that's part of the Young Bucks thing.
I feel like I could name like 20 matches for Kenny that I'd almost rather see than Okada at this point, just because of what they've done or not done to emphasize this, to drive it home, to talk about how important it is. But this is also a symptom probably of Tony Khan trying to rewrite, the history of this company or whatever, like... we don't want to call it back that far or whatever. It's like, nah, it was really just me who started this shit. Like, and it ties in conjunction with that AEW book that's going to come out where they're talking about the history of the promotion and why I think this is going to be an interesting read, because we're going to start just like in WWE when we were talking about people want credit for all this stuff. Who's going to get written out the story?
I don't know how you square that when, like, you also in the same breath. I don't know how you get away with, like, talking about like that without talking about, like, Wrestle Kingdom 12.
Right. It's like
Omega and Jericho. That's absolutely a part of what started AEW.
Right. Like, I feel like
what the fuck?
Like, I feel like
main event of that is Omega or Okada's in the main event of that show.
I feel like they would be like they would have trouble telling that story of like, yo, this shit all goes back to Okada Omega. Like, because it doesn't fit within the tidy little.
Because that's because they fucked it up. They mismanaged it or whatever, or not handled it with care. That's not a. We have. Are you saying like they're not going to recognize that they fucked this up, so therefore they're going to whitewash all this shit? Is what you're saying?
Yes. Like they're not going to realize that this shit emanated from like Okada Omega. Like they're gonna be like,
that sucks.
It's gonna be like, nah, this was just a really great rivalry that happened in Japan. It's like, no, bro, it's deeper than this. Like like they're gonna fuck it up. Like I already know it. Like, and I'm resigned to it.
15 or 17,000 tickets in MSG. People thought it was gonna happen again.
Yeah, sold out MSG. Yeah. Just whatever. Just
whatever.
Now they're struggling to fucking sell tickets at the baseball field. All right. Whatever. I don't mean to go on these rants where I have to like kind of read the company for filth or whatever, because I like AEW or whatever.
And they've been having great shows. Basically,
and they've been having great shows and everything pretty much besides the world champion. I'm pretty much fine with or whatever. But I start thinking about my favorite wrestler of all time, and then like the greatest rivalry that he's ever been in, and then just like, oh, that's coming in 2 months, less than 2 months as we record this, and I'm just like. Where is it? Like, I'm like, where's the excitement? Where's the anticipation? Why is this not being like hammered home? It's just like, I'm confused. Are they a slave to the calendar where they can't do anything until after Anarchy in the Arena or whatever? Like,
that's a part of it. And maybe Anarchy in the Arena, like, I don't know who's all going to be in it, but it's a possibility that both of them are in the cage again, or both of them are in the cage, and like that's when they first preview it. Yeah. Second time they preview it at a big stage without actually doing a match, because like because honestly given they have 2 months and I don't know where they're going to end up with it. Like, in hell, they could have put both of them on the same side of the bracket in the Owen and had that shit been like a semifinal or a quarterfinal match, and them go to a draw, give them advance,
and eliminate them both, and tell them do a 30-minute draw.
Was that Andre WrestleMania 6, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, 4, right? Is when they did that shit.
People would have hated it, but they would have liked the match.
That match would have been way better than that, but
yeah,
it'd be like, hey man, like they did do Danielson Omega and went to a draw. Never had a match again.
Yeah.
Hated that, but we also like that match is fucking awesome.
I don't know, man. I was just thinking about it today, and I was just like, I feel like somebody got to say something, because like
it's at the very least it's suboptimal.
Yeah,
at the very least, and that's being polite about it.
Yeah,
have not done a good job with Okada. Just haven't.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he's awful or whatever else, but like.
Because there's a definite other side to this where I think people are going way too far, and it's quite frankly unfair to Okada. But
I don't know what you've seen, so you got to tell me.
Oh, just like he's a complete failure. This is no different than Shinsuke Nakamura. Like, they would rather he signed with WWE. I'm like, no, he would have not like fucking done anything in WWE.
So Shinsuke Nakamura had basically one super awesome match, one super match in WWE in his whole history there. He's been there since 2018.
Okada's already like wiped his ass with that like several times.
The All match. What are we doing?
Yeah. So Dynamite